Hey guys, it's Elizabeth from ElizabethMadeThis.com, and you've made it to Elizabeth Made This. Today, I am going to take a 1-hour challenge and I'm going to make Itch to Stitch's Lisbon cardigan. So the concept of the 1-hour challenge is something that I saw on Amanda from My Sew a Lot on her channel. And so the idea is you take a simple pattern and you see if you can challenge yourself to get it done in an hour. So the Lisbon's pretty simple, and I think I should be able to get it done. Maybe I might not be able to make the buttonholes. I think I'm gonna use purl snaps on mine, but purl snaps take some time to install too. So I might cheat on that one and just get everything else done. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that all goes. But the idea of fast challenges is something that's super dear to my heart. I'm always running on timers with my kids, so I try and be as efficient as I possibly can in my sewing room. So I'm excited to get going, and I will show you quickly what fabric I'm using for my Lisbon cardigan. So it is this kind of funny bonded knit. So it's got lace on one side, and then I flip it over and it's a white sweater knit. So it's yellow on the right side of the fabric and white on the reverse side. So it's kind of unusual, and I'm going to use the white as kind of some contrast as I'm going along, and it should be interesting. This is definitely it feels a lot like a sweater, like a sweatshirt kind of knit, but it doesn't have hardly any give at all. So it almost acts like a woven. So I've actually already added some extra ease in this pattern because I knew that I wasn't going to have the same amount of stretch that I would on the normal pattern, and so I already know that this is gonna work out. So here we go. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna go grab a timer and we'll get started. Okay, so I've got my giant timer for my kitchen, and I have got all my pieces around me and ready to go. In fact, I even pinned my sleeves to my dress so that I could keep them ordered, because am I the only one who always like mixes them up and has to grab the right one and then put it to the right side, and then I'm like, oh nope, that's the wrong side, and put it on the other side? I don't sew them in backwards anymore, but I still do pin them backwards. So I'm ready. I'm prepared today. So we're gonna get going. Okay, I'm gonna move the camera around though, so you won't see my face for a while. You'll probably just see me and my serger, and that's cool. All right. Okay, here we go. Lisbon. From Lisbon cardigan from Itch to Stitch in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do the shoulder seams first. I've pinned everything, and I'm just going to serge everything today. Yep. Number 1. Number 2 shoulder seam. This is a really good practice. This pattern uses 3/8 of an inch seam allowances. I forgot my scissors. And I'm used to doing 1/4 inch seam allowances with my serger, so this is kind of good practice for me to do something with 3/8 where I actually have to cut off that little tiny bit. But ooh, see, so nice. All right, so now I'm gonna put my sleeves in. All right, and go to sleeve. I don't pin a lot. I usually put 1 on the sleeve cap, and that's all she wrote. hate having to take pins out while I'm sewing, so I just go as fast as I can. So I should say that's one of the things that keeps me going fast. Just not using a whole lot of pins. So far this is serging really, really nicely too, so that's cool. Sergers are loud though. Woo, sergers are loud. I always thought about getting an industrial, but I'm like, ooh, is it gonna be like super, super, super loud? Alright, sleeve number 1. No problem. I am just gonna close this seam up straight away, and then I'll do the other side. I should say, I'll show you when I get to the end here. When I get to this seam, I'm just gonna put those two guys together, and I'm going to kind of push them down towards the sleeve, and that is just, I'm sorry, towards the body, and that's gonna keep it from like, I'll get a better seam match that way. When the serger's faced with it going towards the serger, you'll have a harder time matching the seams than if the seam is pressed downwards towards you. I say that and we'll see how close I get. I'm pretty confident doing it this way. I do it this way all the time, and a lot of times I don't press. And this actually, this knit is almost like felt, so it's really not pressing very well, so I feel pretty not bad about pressing it. And you can see I got a really pretty good seam. Yeah, nope, it matched really nicely. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the other side and do the same rigmarole. I'm gonna grab my other sleeve, pin my dress. Get one pin right there in the cap. And then I am just gonna serge away. So I'm just matching with my fingers as I go along, because again, I just don't like using pins. I think this slow you down, plus I stab myself all the time with pins. Less blood in the sewing room, right? The blood should be metaphorical, not actual. Alright, I'm gonna close up this seam on my side and there, and I went from the sleeve side, so I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So again, I am just gonna match the end of my sleeve. And as I get to the seam intersection, I'm gonna press it towards me and away from the machine, so that when the serger goes over it, it won't pull it out of whack. So that's a way that I can seam match without having to work too hard. It's a faster way to seam match. I don't do it all the time, but I do it often with knits, because it's just really fast, and it's really just pretty accurate too. So I'm pinching that with my thumbs, and I am pressing it towards myself just with my hands. And I am just going right over that guy. Almost there. Alright, so now I'm going to put on the bottom part. I'll do the cuffs first. So my cuffs are already pressed and ready to go this way. I know some people like to sew their cuffs on the sewing machine just to cut down the bulk, and a lot of times I do that, but sometimes I just want to do it quickly and I'll just serge everything. You can see one of the ways that I keep myself from not having to use pins. Using my hand writing on top, so I am kind of working the fabric through the machine at the same time that it's being sewed. So I will just turn these cuffs back inside out, right side out, and we'll get them sewn into the actual cardigan. Yay! One cuff. If they were gold, I'd be Wonder Woman right now, right? Alright, I'm gonna pop these guys right into the bottom of my sleeves. So and that will finish them off, which is kind of nice. I love cuffs on the bottoms of sweaters because they just finish off the nice seam, and it's awesome. One pin. That's it. And I'm going to put the cuff inside of the sleeve and just kind of get it to fit. And I'm going to put one pin on the other side, the opposite side, and I will just in the round, just like that. And I want to stretch the cuff just slightly inside of it so that it fits as I'm going along. And make sure I don't serge over my pin, right? Raise your hand if you've done that. My cuff fabric is from a sweater. I love using sweaters for cuffs because they're really cozy and they're super cheap, and yeah, I can always find whatever color that I possibly could want at the thrift store. Okay, so I've got my second cuff ready to go. Like I was saying, you can't always find rib knit in the color that you're looking for, but it's usually pretty easy to find rib knit sweaters, or just, you know, a contrast knit sweater for cuffs when you go to the thrift store. And usually you can find them for really inexpensive and in good shape too. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes. Okay, my timer's doing funny things, so I'm gonna have to start this again. Okay, hang on. That was 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna start over again. I will just add up my time and we'll be honest here, right? Okay, so now I've got the body of my cardigan all done after 15 minutes, and I am ready to put on my bottom waistband here. This is that same contrast from the sweater that I used for something else. I'm gonna sew this one with a 1/4 inch seamless because I don't mind if it's a little bit longer. I know it's gonna be much longer. Really, when you think about it, like how many times you go up to somebody's garment and say, you know what would make this so much better? If you made that skirt a 1/4 inch longer. A 1/4 inch would make all the difference in the world. There are places where it would be true. Like I think your shoulder seams, yeah, absolutely. A 1/4 inch, big time. But on the length, eh. My band is a little bit longer than the cardigan, and that's just this has more stretch than that, and that's okay. I'll cut off the extra. Sometimes when you pair knits that don't have the same amount of stretch, you'll end up with things like that. And it's not you, it's just the fabrics kind of fighting each other a little bit. And that's okay, we just make them play nice together. No problem. Ta-da! Okay, I will press this because this fabric really needs to be pressed. Okay, so now I am ready to go ahead and do the front bands. So this is where I'm going to use my contrast of my other stuff. I did not interface these bands because this stuff is so rigid. I am not concerned about this stuff ripping out at all. Not even a little bit. Because I'm coming to the end here and I want this kind of open, I am just going to take this guy and I'm going to stick it through the back through the seam. I might come back because I didn't quite end that as well as I would like to. I'm going to thread it through my big needle, and I'm going to pull it back through there, and we'll just do that. Yeah, and I think I will go ahead and tack this down with my machine in a little while after I do the other one. Okay, and on to the other side. You can see how quickly this is kind of going together. I've been at this for 21 minutes now, and I am almost ready to go install the pearl snaps for today, since that's what I'm using. And because I want to do this in one go, you can see that my my band again is longer than the rest of the sweater, so I am just going to fold this back so it's even with the end here as best I can, and I'm just going to serge that to the end. Did it? Yep, it did. Okay, so I'm gonna bury my thread tail back in the seam. So I'm taking my big needle and I'm gonna stick it into the seam and I'm gonna thread the needle. And I am going to pull it through. That's all she wrote, people. Okay, so now we gotta do the neckband. Snaps. Okay, so this I am going to finish, and then I'm going to turn it to the right side. I did not cut this as the pattern. I just kind of cut this longer because I didn't know how stretchy this was going to be. So maybe it's longer than the pattern, maybe it's shorter than the pattern. I don't know. I never measure my my neck bands. For knits, I always just go by whatever the knit wants to do. So I can see this one has very little elasticity. So I'm just going to gently tug on it while I'm putting it through the serger, and whatever's left towards the end, I will either cut off or I'll as I get towards the end, I will know how much more I need, and then I'll finish the other side before I finish that seam. Gently gonna tug on this as it's going around, and just on the neckband. I'm not gonna tug on the other side because I don't want to stretch it out. Okay, so I will just finish this where it is. So I'm gonna turn it right sides together and just hope that I have enough here. Turn that back around. Okay, I'm going to pin this to the end so that I can have an effective gauge of how much I need to stretch this as I'm going along. Where it's ending up. Again, I'm going to bury my thread tails right quick so that you can stop. Ah, what? I missed. Sometimes you get overconfident, right? No problem. When we got it. Just checking through. Not a problem. Okay. Burying the thread tails. Taking my big needle, sticking it back in the seam. Thread in the eye. Pulling it on through. Ta-da! So this is one of the cardigans that I was going to make for the Cozy Cardi Challenge. And also, coincidentally, Amanda from My Sew Lab is hosting along with the Stitch Sisters who are here on YouTube. And it's been really a cool challenge, just seeing everybody's cardigans. And dude, it is totally cardigan weather. I think it's supposed to be like snowing possibly tomorrow, so it's just time to pull out those cardigans and start adding stuff that's nice and warm and cozy in our wardrobes. And it's been cool too to see how people kind of use their cardigans as kind of to fill those wardrobe gaps, because you always have tops that kind of don't fit with other things, but man, a cardigan can really like pull it together. Okay, so really this cardigan is done except for the closures on it. I should probably take off my wrist pin cushion, right? So far my time has been just under 3 minutes to get this far, and I'm just gonna go install my straps. Okay, so I realized I was using my timer kind of funny for this. If I could do this in one take, then I could use the count up method, but I'm using my countdown because I had to stop for a couple of things to get my daughter out and to move my camera around. But I'm being honest, this is the time that I have left. I've got 28 minutes and I'm gonna go. All right, here we go. Okay, so now my cardigan is done except for the snaps, and I'm just gonna stitch along my neckline just to kind of keep this surged bit from you know, flipping up, because it's not very nice. So I'm just gonna do that on my regular sewing machine. So over here I go. Alright, so now my neckband's sitting nice and flat, and that looks great. And I am going to go ahead and start installing the snaps. Okay, so I sorted them out. Let's see if I can see this real quick. I sorted these out by the pearl snaps are going to go with the this part of the snap. And then the pokey part of the stud is going to go with the ring, the little ring. So those I've sorted out in my little jars, and I'm going to go ahead and do the pearl snaps first. Okay, so unfortunately the camera cut out just as I was installing all of my snaps. So I'm just going to show you here with some scrap fabric. So I've got my pearl snaps, and I've got the pearl snap and the socket part. And those two go together on one side, and then there's also the stud, which is the one that has the little pokey part, and the ring. So the first thing, you grab it where you're going to do the pearl snap first. So this particular setter, it has a separate base where the pearl snap goes. And you put it in there because it has this kind of divot in it, so that the pearl snap doesn't get cracked when you go to whack it with the hammer. So I am just going to put this over my marking on my fabric, and I'm going to put it down, and you can hear it kind of snap into place right there. Okay, so now I'm going to take the ring part of this, and it's going to fit in there. And I usually grab like a pen or something with my finger. Hold on. Just a needle or something like that, just so I can move my finger out of where it is and make sure that it's still right aligned in that spot. Okay, so now I'm going to put the socket, and there's a bigger side of the socket and there's a smaller side. So the smaller side needs to be up, and the ridge side that's a little bit bigger, that goes down towards the snap. And then you put the top part of this setter on it and just give it a whack. And then you just unearth this bad boy. So that's the pearl side of it. And then we're going to do the other part. We're not going to use this pearl snap setter. We're just going to use the regular base now. So the regular base, I'm going to put the ring over my marking. And obviously in a garment, you make sure that all these things were lined up really well. I'm just doing this on scrap fabric just to show the process of it. Okay, and then this part of it goes over there, and again, oops, nope. This part goes over, and then I'm going to take my pen and just put it down where my finger is, so I can make sure that the snap isn't going to move on me. And then the pokey part of the stud is going up. And then we're just going to do that. Give it a whack. And that is how you install the pearl snaps. So I did that for all of the snaps on my cardigan. And you can see, I put them together. they just snapped right into place just like that. And that's all there is to it. So when everything was said and done, I got through my entire Lisbon cardigan in under an hour with like almost 9 minutes left to spare. So that's pretty great, especially since I installed all of the pearl snaps. And I will insert some proper pictures for this particular cardigan. And if you haven't checked out Itch to Stitch before, go ahead and go over there. She's got some really beautiful, lovely things, and she just came out with a jacket that I've seen wander around. I know Karina, Lifting Pins and Needles, super loves that pattern, the Havar jacket, and it's beautiful. It has this really cool neckline, and I think her chai shirt dress is really cool too. And what do you think about 1 hour challenges for your sewing? Is this something that you do? Do you set timers for yourself? Like, how do you make yourself more productive in your sewing room? I want to know about it. So leave me a comment down below, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And thank you for watching, and happy sewing!